Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Some days just have problems written all over them. This is only a minor one, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. This little Tolumnia, which is still dehydrated, but the two new leaves coming up the middle look a bit better, and it is just starting some roots, has decided to put a spike out. So what do you do when you keep notes of those sort of things, especially when you want to know how long the spike takes from seeing it to the blooms opening, which is something I like to keep. So luckily we have a nice label. It says it's Tolumnia Jerac Flyer Red Butterfly. So off we go to our notes, and that Tolumnia doesn't exist. Now if you think back a while ago, we had all the Tolumnias out. We threw some away, we had plants and labels all over the place, and we remounted them bare rooted at that time. They've since had moss put on them. So at some point down there, I could have put the wrong label on the plant. Yeah? But what I think's more likely is the fact that I was very careful at keeping labels with plants and making sure, you know, everything was fine at that point in the kitchen. I don't think that's where the mistake was. I think the mistake was when I went to my notes and deleted the ones I'd chucked out and deleted the wrong one. Unfortunately, that probably means there's one in my notes that I don't have anymore, and I don't know which one it is. So first of all, I've now got to wait for those blooms to open, which is a while, but not too long for Tolumnias. I don't think it's going to be a fantastic spike. It'll probably just have 3 or 4 blooms. But when they open, they may or may not match that picture. If they match the picture, then obviously the problem's in the notes. If they don't match that picture, and it's a first time bloomer, I'm none the wiser as to which one it is. It doesn't matter that much to me, I must admit. I was just going to try and hang it up by the spike then instead of the hook. But, you know, things go wrong when you, especially when you do lots of things all at once. But, you know, ones that came to me with a name, it would be nice if they kept their original name and didn't get muddled up. So, luckily, my notes every now and again get backed up. So, at the moment, I'm going to assume that the label is correct and my notes are wrong. So if I go to one of my older backups where this original, you know, information is, I can just cut that line out of the old spreadsheet and paste it into the new one. But the thing is, I don't know which one shouldn't be there. So I'll have one too many, you know, whatever it is. I'll have 10 Tolumnias and 11 items in my notes. But anyway, I can sort of get round it, I suppose. It's just a nuisance when you get silly little things like that wrong. But it's not the end of the world. It is a Tolumnia. It is sort of recovering. I mean, out of the ones that were in a really bad state, that's still probably one of the worst. But, you know, given the latest couple of leaves that have pushed out, they seem solid. You know, they seem to have regained some of their succulence, and the fact that it is growing said new leaves, it will put out new roots to replace the ones that were well, virtually non-existent on this one, I think. Anyway, little bit of progress. That's all I've actually got for today. I mean, I watered the mounts today. The RO unit's been working its butt off all morning to refresh the Vanda water. I haven't got round to putting the Vandas in it yet. Quite honestly, I think I might have to add a little bit of water out of the kettle, because obviously that water's very cold, and that's not ideal for the Vandas, because, you know, they are at room temperature and that water's probably quite a bit below that. So I'll just stick a bit of kettle water in there, just enough to raise it up a few degrees and get it nearer the normal temperature. Get those done, and then I've got to start thinking about, am I taking anything to the show on Saturday? And the simple answer is probably no. The only thing I've got that doesn't infringe the rules, quite honestly, is Peter Comp. That has got 3 spikes on it, but the largest spike was arched over in the way, and I actually stood it upright, so all the plants are at the blooms are at the wrong aspect. This one with the weight of the blooms is now arched, and this is what happens. You see, the blooms look quite nice. If you stand that up and stake it, they don't. So, you know, if you are ever thinking about taking a plant for a display, then you need to get your stakes in early and not wait for the blooms to open and then try and do it, because it just doesn't work. I mean, if you take this little Hawiara here, you know, oh, some of the blooms are just starting to go. It's been out a while, not the end of the world. But if I staked that to get that upright, the blooms would look silly. So you've got to make your decision quite early on. I mean, some things like this, because the spike comes out the top, it doesn't need staking. It's just fine as it is. The only thing you have to think about is, is the plant nice and upright? So that's worth a thought, especially if you've got a nice set of canes all clustered nicely and one sticking out sideways. That's not going to look so good. But I mean, at the moment, this is just lasting forever. So I'm over the moon with that. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say is, when you do one thing at a time, the chances of making a mistake are virtually zero. When you try and do too much all at once, mistakes are made. And even though this sort of mistake, it's not the end of the world, is it? It's only a plant name. But, if you're going to keep records, it's nice for them to be right. And, yeah. Anyway, show on Saturday, so definitely I will film the plants at the show, the actual competition tables, and have a look around the traders. I'll get that sorted out on the Sunday probably. I may have a problem. My ISP, my internet service provider, changes tomorrow. A man is coming to sort it all out and set up the new one. If that goes wrong, I might be without the internet for a bit. Although in theory, I've still paid for the one I'm currently with for an amount of time, so that one would still be working. It's only a matter of unplugging one of the routers and putting the other one back in. All the software will still be there. But yeah, I might get a little bit of a break in service. We'll have to wait and see. It just got... The one I was with just kept putting the price up. Now, okay, it's a brilliant... it's fibre optic cable. It's really fast. It's brilliant. And when my son was here playing his online games and doing all his university preparation and stuff like that, and I was doing my thing, it got used. But now he's actually at university. There's only me here. I don't need super fast broadband for what I do. So I've literally halved the cost. Okay, my speed's going to drop down a bit, but it'll be down at the same speed as my daughter's, and she's never had any problems, watching films on Netflix or watching YouTube videos or anything like that. Everything she does works fine, and she doesn't, well, she probably does more sorts of things online than I do, so I think it'll be fine. And if it takes a little bit longer to upload a vid to YouTube, well, so be it. What else would I be doing? I can get on with someone else while that sort of thing's going on. So anyway, there may be an interruption in service. So anyway, see you next time.